We chose a class that had a very low success rate. And students just looked at the textbook basically and didn't read it. And, thought that they could survive on the lecture and on the teacher's notes that he gave them. But that was not so. They needed to read the textbook. And the readability of this textbook is very high. I worked with an individual faculty member, just one faculty member, and we were not able to get permission to digitize the textbook, but so we used only the first 2 chapters. And in the first 2 chapters, he went through the textbook, as Stacy has suggested, as if he were a student looking at that textbook for the very first time. He was actually able to be in that textbook with his students while they were reading.
Please remember, it is important to memorize the terms, as you will probably see them on your next test.
Yesterday I went in to talk to the professor and I said, I'm going to this conference about smart text and how are you feeling about it in your class? And he said, I've had incredible results. So in the fall, when we did the 3 test data, on test number 1 and 2, which we're using the smart text strategies, more students got A's, there were fewer unsuccessful students, and there was only 1 D and no F's. For the 3rd test, now this was the real deal breaker here, because the 3rd test we did not use the smart text strategies in. We were not able to digitize that chapter. And the instructor was almost giddy about how many A's there were, and he said, this is far different than in past history and shows that students are applying the skills they learned in chapters 1 and 2 to subsequent chapters. And so we saw that these results were maintained because they had learned how to read this textbook in chapters 1 and 2.